Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. United States has fired an illegal missile strike, multiple, I think over 100, into Syria. The propaganda war has started. What's true, what's false? What is true is a flat fact. We don't know if there was a chemical weapon strike. We don't know if Syria was responsible for it, if there was one. And beyond that, it is grossly illegal for the United States to be doing the strike. Not to mention just grossly immoral for the country that has a ton of chemical weapons of not getting rid of their chemical weapons, either Britain or the United States, to be pointing the finger at Syria in this case is nonsense. Now, the rationale, however, rests on a very simple premise. Syria did it. And because Syria did it, we, for whatever reason, have this responsibility as world protector to go after this and do this, despite our own laws. Here's the thing. Did they indeed do it? Russia has said this was a hoax. Russia has said they made this shit up. That this was stagecraft, that this was a false flag. Stagecraft. Are they right? Russia said they have evidence of this. Are they right? Let's take a look at some of their evidence. This video is difficult to watch because whoever did the video is flipping it over and over and over again. So sometimes parts of this are being repeated as the person who's translating from Russia to English. But take a listen to what this guy says. Because what he's saying is, they made this up. Britain essentially assisted in making this up. What they're saying took place, never took place. And you all are being sold a lie. Let's take a listen to what this guy is saying.
Used chemical weapons against the population.
And by the way, I don't want to just say this guy has a name. This is RT. Syria chemical attack staged to provoke United States airstrike. London push perpetrators. Russian Ministry of Defense. The Russian Ministry of Defense has presented what it says is proof that the reported chemical weapons attack in Syria was staged. It also accused the British government of pressuring the perpetrators to speed up the provocation. During a briefing on Friday, the ministry showed interviews with two people who said are medical professionals working in the hospitals operating in Douma at the town near the Syrian capital of Damascus. Now, they've used this case. Look at all these pictures. Look at the dead babies. Look at the people who can't breathe. It's evidence, it's proof. We know it took place. Wait a minute. We have questions. Are you certain? Shut up. Do you know they told Tucker Carlson to shut up? Stop asking questions about this. Shut the fuck up. I'm not shutting up. I'm asking questions about this. A lot of people are asking questions about this. A lot of people want a little bit more than their assertions that something took place. Russia's making the case that this didn't take place. Syria is saying this didn't take place. They're saying we were there. This didn't take place. Let's take a listen. This is not proof. Don't misunderstand me. This is evidence. This is them saying, here's video evidence of us talking to these people who were there, who was at the hospital that they're claiming was hit or in an area of a chemical weapons strike. These people were there. Listen to what they have to say. So, in interviews released to the public, the two men reported how footage of the people dousing each other with water and treating, which was claimed to show the aftermath of the April 7th chemical weapons attack. The patient shown in the video suffered from smoking poison, and water was poured over them by their relatives after a false claim that chemical weapons were used, the ministry said. What would it look like if they had smoke inhalation? What would it look like if it was something else other than chemical weapons? People jumped to the conclusion that it was chemical weapons, meaning the public itself, just because the government said they were chemical weapons. Never challenging or asking the questions, is it something else that these people are suffering from as opposed to chemical weapons? Why is everyone walking around without suits on? Why is everybody walking around without even, the basic things that they would wear if they thought that these were chemical weapons? Those are valid questions. Let's take a look at the video. Let's hear him say it himself. And again, this video skips miserably. It's somewhat difficult to watch. I've moved it to the portion where he's having this conversation and talking about this.
Of Syria, but up until this point there has been chemical weapons against the population of Syria, but up until this point there has been no evidence presented by the West to lay some basis for for the fact that there has been actually a chemical attack. We believe that there has been a provocation in order to provoke the US to make a strike against Syria. There is a video clip filmed in the hospital of the strike against Syria. There is a video clip filmed in the hospital of the town of Duma, where allegedly people have suffered from the chemical attack. We have been able to find people in this clip, and these people will be telling in details how they were filmed, what they did, and how all of this operation was staged. They're going to show the film, they're going to show the clips, and both people are doctors, medical doctors, and work in the hospital of Duma. All the people brought to the hospital, according to these people, had no traces of suffering from a chemical attack. According to these people, had no traces of suffering from a chemical attack. Once they were giving medical aid, some people ran into the building. Shouting that those who had suffered and those who were receiving medical treatment were in fact poisoned by chemical weapons, and they started using water to try to wash them. Then they left the building. As you can see, these people are showing that they are present in the video. These people do not try to be anonymous. These are not some anonymous statements in the social media or some anonymous statements by some activists. These are actual people who became here, or some anonymous statements by some activists. These are actual people who became part of this staging. This video will be provided to you after the briefing. So these will be provided to you after the briefing.
Like I said, this video is difficult to watch, but in a nutshell, I think he's saying, look, there were people in this video. These people, you could walk up to the person and say, hey, buddy, how are you doing today? I'm doing perfectly okay today. You can point to the guy. You can find the guy. He's making the point that these people were there. And then there wasn't evidence of a chemical weapons strike, as opposed to somebody just coming in and screaming, chemical weapons! Chemical weapons! But that's a little bit different than there actually being evidence of that particular thing. And Russia is making a point that these people can be interviewed. You can have a conversation with these people. They're there. They're not anonymous people on Twitter. They're not the terrorists who want the government to be undermined. They're people who are there. You're saying the chemical weapons strike took here, and we're saying that we were here. We are talking to the human beings who were here, and what you're saying is wrong. That's Russia's case. Now, let's keep going. Let's see if he actually has these people giving this conversation, because I want to see if he has the people. But either way, he's presenting this information, or Moscow is presenting this information to gut the narrative that the West has been pushing in order to come up with a reason, a pretext, to strike at targets in Syria. Does the West just completely ignore this evidence? Like, I'm amazed by the media in the West. I'm amazed by them. Fucking shameful. Let's let him keep going.
So these are the facts that are used in the modern civil societies to show what is happening. These are true facts, not show what is happening. These are true facts, not attempts to make allegations against some other countries without facts. I would like to remind you that Russia has warned about the fact that there will be soon. Remind you that Russia has
investigation in Duma.
warned about the fact that there will be soon attempts to stage a chemical attack.
I'm going to put this at the bottom, but I want to go to what's taking place now. Russian military is speaking about this. So let's see what they're saying.
In a suburb of Damascus where chemical weapons were supposedly used, I would like to point out that there are no chemical weapon manufacturing facilities in Syria, as you can observe in real time, watching the situation right here on the big screen. We've been following the situation in Syria. Thank you.
Okay, thought that was going to be a little bit more involved than what it actually was. Maybe I got to it late. Fair enough. Look, I'm going to put this at the bottom so you can see it for yourself. At the very least, it's evidence against this idea of the narrative that they've been pushing on this. And it's something that has to be taken into context or taken into account if you are thinking of what has taken place there. At the end of the day, I have a hard time believing that anybody can say that they're against evidence and they're against them actually getting evidence to figure out what took place or what didn't take place from independent sources. People on Twitter are not independent sources. People who you've been giving money to are not independent sources. The terrorists are not independent sources. So, this is Russia's hypothesis of the case. Evaluate it as you evaluate it. But fact is, if they're saying a chemical weapons attack took place there, and you talk to the people there, and the people there are saying this never took place, that looks bad. You have to explain that. So I will leave it at that. I'm not going to keep this one long because it's 4 in the morning and I am about to fall out this chair. If anything major takes place, you will see me again. But Russia is looking at reprisals. Iran is apparently looking at reprisals. And so we are in for fuckery. We're in for utter, complete, indiscriminate fuckery. All right, guys. You all have a good night. Thanks, everyone.